It's Spyros from the Self-Help Photographer. This week we're talking about buying cameras. Quick note though, last Friday I was on Wisconsin Public Radio's Joy Cardine show. We talked about great photography spots in Wisconsin and answered listeners' photography questions. If you missed the show, there's a link below so you can download and listen. Now, let's talk about buying a new camera. The first question when buying a camera is, are you a casual shooter looking for a camera that's going to do all the work for you, or are you a more serious shooter that wants to learn the skills and craft of photography? Now, if you're a casual shooter, you can look for a point and shoot or a super zoom style camera that will suit all of your needs. Point and shoots and super zooms are generally designed to do all of the work for you through the automatic and scene modes, so you can generally just point and shoot. If you're a more serious shooter, you're going to want to look at advanced point and shoots, mirrorless interchangeables, or my favorite option, a DSLR camera. All of these cameras give you all of the control you want so you can learn and shoot using the settings you want instead of what the camera thinks is best. For budget, if you're a casual shooter, expect to spend around $200 to $400. You can certainly spend more, but you probably don't need to if you're looking for a point and shoot that's going to do all the heavy lifting. If you're a serious shooter, I recommend spending between $400 and $1,500. Again, you can spend more. In fact, you can spend way more, but you can get a lot of camera for that price. Regardless of the type of camera you are looking at, here are some of the things you should look for on any camera you're looking to purchase. The first thing I always look at is the maximum aperture of the lens. The aperture is the opening in the lens. It's very much like the pupil in your eye. And the maximum aperture makes a huge difference in the performance of the camera. Generally, you should look for a large maximum aperture. Ideal numbers to look for are f1.8, f2, and f2.8. ISO is one of the next things that I look at. The ISO lets you adjust how much light the camera sensor is able to record. The brighter it is, the less ISO you need, and the darker it is, the more ISO you need. So a good ISO range for a camera is 100 to 12,800. This is a nice range that allows you flexibility for a variety of lighting situations. The sensor size is also a very important factor. Generally speaking, the bigger the sensor, the better. Bigger sensors give you better image quality in detail, color, sharpness, and ISO performance. Point and shoots are going to have the smallest sensors, so your quality is going to suffer if you start to really scrutinize and look at your photos. The largest sensors are full frame sensors that you're going to find in the bigger SLRs like the Canon 5D Mark III. Many of the DSLRs out there have APS size sensors, and those are smaller than full frame, bigger than point and shoot, and offer superb image quality. Full frames are of course better, they're bigger, and they're more expensive. So look for an APS size sensor to get really excellent image quality for the price. Shutter lag is a really annoying problem. And generally what causes shutter lag is a poor quality autofocus system. Shutter lag is a long delay between when you press the shutter button and when you actually get a photo. So when you're looking at a camera, you want to look for a camera that has a fast autofocus motor and lots of autofocus points. Generally speaking, an SLR camera is going to perform much better in this area than a point and shoot camera, although you can get point and shoots that have good performance in this. The amount of zoom that a camera has is actually the last thing that I look at. People get really hung up on wanting more zoom in their cameras, but I really strongly caution against that. Now, you need to get all the zoom you need, but you need to think about how much zoom you actually need. I recommend getting more zoom if you tend to shoot lots of sports, wildlife, birds, things that you physically can't get yourself close to. If not, just don't get the zoom, because generally speaking, zoom lenses are way more expensive for a better quality lens. And if you don't plan to spend more than that $1,500 that I'm talking about, watch out for the zooms. Those are the main criteria that I look for in a camera. Of course, there's a lot more stuff you can look at, but for any camera, from the cheapest point and shoot to the most expensive DSLR, these are the most important things to consider. When you start breaking into specific camera types, then there are other things to look at. And to answer those questions, I'm actually going to be developing a new buying guide section of the website, so you can go in and say, I'm looking for a point and shoot. I'll have recommendations for specific cameras and talk about things to look for more specifically there. One more point I want to make is if you're buying a DSLR, I highly recommend that you do not buy the kit lens. You can get a much better setup if you buy the camera body and then buy a lens separately. You will get a way better lens for the money that you're spending. And in the next video, I'm going to talk specifically about buying lenses. Now that wraps us up for today. Get out there and take some damn photos. Oh, and if you're buying gear and you want to help a fella out, use my affiliate link for Adorama Photo down below. It's a great camera retailer. They're based out of New York and they have fantastic customer service. If you use that affiliate link, I'll get paid a little bit extra for the purchase for referring you. It's not going to cost you a penny extra. You're going to pay just the same regular price you would without, but it's going to help me out a little bit. All right, any questions? Hit me up on Facebook or Twitter. Now, if you want access to the tutorial videos, make sure to subscribe in the sidebar. I'll see you guys next time.